This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. Leader of government business Carl Samuda yesterday apologized to the nation and the students who were present during last week's sitting of the House of Representatives, where MPs on both sides of the aisle shouted down each other over the Cornwall Regional Hospital issue. This was the scene in last week's sitting of Parliament. A debate over the Cornwall Regional Hospital turned ugly between government member Darrell Vaz and opposition member Dr. Dayton Campbell.
Where the Cornwall Regional Hospital is located.
Absolutely.
And as such may be conflicted by his strident calls for the closure or downsizing of the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order, rubbish, sit down and shut your mouth with the garbage. Rubbish you're talking. Rubbish you're talking.
Fast forward to Tuesday, a different tone, with both men apologizing on the floor of the Parliament.
And I want to put on Hansard, apologize not only to my colleagues here, those who were in attendance, but the entire Jamaica. And I do so not only in words, I will now so do to my colleague. Mr. Speaker, I just told my invited him outside to have a drink, not to fight.
Certainly, I want to, without any reservation, apologize for the part that I played in the dissension of the House into chaos last week. And I go even further, Mr. Speaker, to say that as far as I'm concerned, there will be no repeat of said behavior from me in this House. And I apologize to you, to the members of the House, to those who were viewing the unfortunate situation, and to the entire public. I do apologize and promise that there will be no recurrence of such said behavior.
House Speaker Pernell Charles chimed in with hopes for more civil discourse going forward.
And I'm stating very clearly that while I sit here as Speaker and be guided by the standing order, the House should not descend to the level it did last week.
Leader of opposition business Philip Paulwell also used the opportunity to apologize as well, saying the entire episode was regrettable.
I want to also say on behalf of the opposition that we regret the entire episode last week, and especially the way we concluded the business of the Parliament.
The House of Representatives yesterday passed a resolution seeking to extend the current state of emergency in St. James by 3 more months. All 53 members present yesterday evening voted in favor of the resolution, giving it the required 2/3 majority for the passage, although several opposition MPs raised various concerns about the method of confronting crime and violence in the nation. Leader of opposition Dr. Peter Phillips posited a holistic look at all the factors which contribute to the high levels of crime and violence, and warned against returning to the era of the Suppression of Crimes Act in 1990s, which he noted led to several abuses by the security forces.
36 people remaining in detention. 14 detention orders have been signed. 14 of those in detention, no, of the 36 have had detention orders signed. And the interpretation of the tribunal that is to hear their complaints against detention, is that they can't hear the complaints unless there's a detention order signed. So these persons are in a kind of legal limbo. And we say there is no great abuse of rights, and it may be true numerically, except that for every man an abuse of his rights is an abuse of rights. Right. And we must not cavalierly deny people their rights.
However, he insisted that there was no doubt that the opposition would support the measure, but would require additional assurances of protection for detainees. In his response, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said he had personally sought to ensure that the rights of all citizens were protected during security measures.
And so I want to assure the nation that this administration has ensured that the extraordinary powers given to the security forces are not used in an arbitrary way. Most importantly, Mr. Speaker, the persons who have been detained have been treated within the safe custody standards of the JCF. And there have been no major complaints of human rights infringements. Deliberate and careful due diligence of the procedures used is undertaken by the oversight of the National Security Council, the Commissioner of Police, and the Chief of Defense Staff. And we work, Mr. Speaker, closely with the public defender. If there is any issue that is raised by the public defender, whether or not it is raised with me directly or through my monitoring of the media, immediately I raise those issues with the Commissioner of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, to ensure that no human rights abuses take place.
The resolution will be debated in the Senate with an intent to have it passed prior to midnight when the current 90-day tenure of the state of emergency in St. James expires. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica's unemployment rate has declined to a record low 9.6% as at the end of January 2018, down from 10.4% outturn for the October to December 2017 quarter. The Prime Minister made the announcement during Tuesday's launch of Workers' Week and National Labour Day activities for 2018 at the office of the Prime Minister.
Of particular note, is that youth unemployment rate also declined, moving from 31.2% in January 2017 to 23.8% in January 2018. Representing a decrease of 7.4 percentage points. For male youth, the unemployment rate declined by 4.7 percentage points to 20.4%.
The Prime Minister says the unemployment dip is an improvement on the 9.8% recorded in the October to December 2017 quarter. He said a 4.9% decline in the female rate from 17% in January 2017 to 12.1% as at January 2018. The Prime Minister said that within the 9.6% unemployed figure would be a significant number of youth who are untrained and unattached.
Government has to be proactive in implementing human resource development policies that ensure alignment between the output of the education and training institutions and the skill demand of industries. We are also ensuring that those who are below the educational attainment level for their life cycle and who are also unskilled, that they are supported to find employment opportunities in the labor market.
The HOPE program was initiated to do exactly that through the merger of the nation's largest youth programs and moving the nucleus of the Hart Trust NTA to the office of the Prime Minister. Mr. Holness also reported significant investments and development of interest in business process outsourcing, tourism and hospitality, services generally, mining and construction, as well as civil development. The Hart Foundation of Jamaica says it will resist through court the attempts by Wasinco to seek an injunction to bar an aspect of its public education campaign against the consumption of sugary drinks. The foundation released a statement late Tuesday evening following the decision by the beverage company to withdraw the injunction application. On Tuesday afternoon, Wasinco Chairman William Mafood reported, among other things, the withdrawal of the court action, and later in a statement, a company spokesman said Wasinco also offered to underwrite the legal cost for the non-profit organization. According to Mafood, Wasinco decided to withdraw the application after the Hart Foundation filed court papers indicating that it had, quote, inadvertently and unintentionally, end quote, included the Cranwater beverage in a social media post related to the campaign. In regional news, more than 90% of the global population is breathing in high levels of pollutants. That's according to the World Health Organization, the WHO. The WHO also blames poor air quality for some 7 million deaths annually. Fresh data from the United Nations health body on Wednesday showed that every corner of the globe is dealing with air pollution, although the problem is far worse in poorer countries. The WHO boss says air pollution threatens us all, but the poorest and most marginalized people bear the brunt of the burden. WHO's study, which examined health hazardous levels of both outdoor and household air pollution, found that around 7 million people die every year from exposure to fine particles in polluted air. It found that more than 90% of deaths linked to air pollution occur in low or middle-income countries, mainly in Asia and Africa. In sports, we kick off with football. 2 years. That's the projected timeline to bring the proposed franchise system online. That from Jamaica Football Federation President Michael Ricketts. In an interview yesterday with the Gleaner, Ricketts said that franchising is the way forward for the country's football development. He also said that his administration has set up a committee to ensure that all variables are in place before the competition goes ahead. And over now to cricket. The West Indies continue to slip down the ranking in the game's longest version. According to RJR, the Caribbean side has dropped to a record low of number 9 in the ICC Test Team rankings. Since the Test rankings were introduced in 2003, this is the lowest the West Indies have been ranked, as Bangladesh has moved to 8th for the first time in Test cricket history. Bangladesh has moved up to 75 rating points, while the Windies remain on 67. India remains the top-ranked Test team with 125 rating points. South Africa is right behind them with 112 points, followed by Australia, New Zealand, England, Sri Lanka and Pakistan, which rounds out the top 7. Zimbabwe remains in the 10th position. Ireland and Afghanistan will be added to the 2019 Test rankings, making it a 12-team table. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.